Hello everybody, welcome back to another video by DISSOCIATIVE, where we try and debunk the stigmas that surround dissociative identity disorder and other mental health illnesses, specifically ones that are developed by trauma. This is a Debunking DID or Debunking Disorders episode. Debunking DID stands for debunking the stigmas and negative connotations that surround dissociative identity disorder. If you don't know why trauma is involved in DID, it's because it stems from repeated and severe childhood trauma. So, if you have DID, OSDD, CPTSD, PTSD, or are supporting somebody who has one of these issues, or somebody who has just experienced a trauma and you'd like to learn a little bit more about it, this is the right place to be. All our Debunking DID and Debunking Disorders videos have all the links to the resources that we use to make them in the description box below, so if you would like to check out your own research and go off and do your own thing, we absolutely advise that you do. Everything that you'll need to find is in the description box below. So, if you want to learn a little more about trauma, you've come to the right place. If you're watching this video, I would recommend that you watch our other videos on PTSD and trauma. You'll be able to find some of them in the link up top and also in the description box below. Here are some of the thumbnails you're looking for. Hopefully one of these will be a good introduction to this video, because this is about symptoms of trauma and how to know whether you've been traumatized. Many of us know the basic causes of trauma, but how do you know when you've been traumatized? Just because you've experienced a trauma doesn't mean that you're experiencing the traumatic response. What one person may consider traumatic may not be considered traumatic for another person, especially when you take into account factors like environment, mental age, upbringing, physical age, your immediate safety, mental and psychological illnesses, and your developmental and psychological state. This is especially true for children. What may be completely soul-destroying and disruptive to life to one child may be just something incredibly unpleasant to another, especially if one of them has an adequate support system and a relatively healthy environment in which to recover. I'm going to list some causes of trauma now for you. If you do have CPTSD, PTSD, DID, OSDD, or have experienced a trauma and feel like these lists could be triggering for you, please have a look at this little number here, skip to this time, and the list will be done. So, causes of trauma, and this is by no means comprehensive or exhaustive. Trauma can include catastrophic injuries or illnesses, invasive medical procedures, childhood abuse, whether that is emotional, physical, spiritual, sexual, religious, war, childhood neglect or abandonment, natural disasters like hurricanes, earthquakes, tsunamis, tornadoes, birth-related stress, which can be inclusive of both the parent or person giving birth and the infant, and also accidents, so falls or injuries at work or car crashes. Traumatic symptoms are very complex and diverse, depending on the intensity, duration, and nature of the traumatic event. You can read more about the information that I'm giving you below by reading about Landa L. 1991, The Ruins of Memories. Remember, all our resources will be listed below if you'd like to do your own research, and that will tell you some more of what we're explaining in this video if you'd like to hear it in a more scientific context. Symptoms of trauma can be organized into two parts: hyperarousal and hypo-arousal or dissociative symptoms. Physical and psychological hyper-arousal symptoms can include hypervigilance, intrusive memories or imagery, flashbacks, and if you'd like to know more about flashbacks and how these are created, why it happens, I would recommend having a look at our video up here. Hyperactivity, abrupt mood swings. This can include sudden rage reactions, temper tantrums, crying without knowing why. Nightmares and night terrors, a low stress threshold, sleeping difficulties, feelings of shame and a notable lack of self-worth, panic attacks, phobias, anxiety, attraction to dangerous situations, avoidance behaviors, so avoiding places, people, memories, activities, mental blankness or spaced out feelings, and addictive behaviors, so under or overeating, smoking, gambling, those kind of things. So, what does this mean for us? Why does the brain make us exhibit these behaviors when we've been traumatized? These symptoms are the result of the brain trying to protect us by removing us and trying to move us away from the acceptance, understanding, and reality of these painful and traumatic trauma memories. It does this by using layers of false ego states and negative coping mechanisms to avoid the emotion. It's also very common to experience blankness or numbness, which in evolutionary terms is playing dead. If you'd like to know more about the evolutionary reasons behind why people get PTSD and what the trauma response is, how that works in the brain, I would recommend watching our video, which you can find up here. But this is why people who have been traumatized or experienced traumatic situations often seek out dangerous or addictive behaviors and situations. It's sometimes a bid to feel something to combat the uncomfortable numbness. The second group of trauma symptoms can be described as hypo-arousal or dissociative symptoms. Symptoms of dissociation will vary based on the type and severity and may include any of the things in the list below. If you'd like to know more about this, we recommend looking at any of the studies by Van der Kolk, who we've referenced in so many of our Debunking DID videos before. Debunking DID is our video series about dissociative identity disorder and dissociative disorders. A really good place to start if you want to do your own research is Van der Kolk et al. 1995, Dissociation and the Fragmentary Nature of Traumatic Memories. You'll find it in the description below. Hypoarousal and dissociative symptoms can include depersonalization, feeling detached from one's life and the experiences around you. Depersonalization, feeling a detachment from your life, your thoughts, and your feelings. Problems with handling intense emotions. Sudden and unexpected shifts in your mood. Derealization, which is feeling as though the world around you is distorted or not real. A lot of people, including me, describe it as though you're living in a dream or looking through a sheet of glass or out of a fishbowl. Dissociative amnesia, which means dissociative memory loss. This can be localized, selective, generalized, or systematized. Feeling compelled to behave in a certain way. Immobility, freezing, and overwhelming feelings of helplessness. Did you know that amnesia is actually part of the diagnostic criteria for both PTSD and DID? It can be complete, partial, delayed onset, etc. Trauma affects our ability to control our lower behaviors. The body has an independent memory from the brain, and therefore the body can behave essentially without consent from our executive functioning, which leads to reenactments of past trauma. This can often be seen in traumatized children who may reenact their trauma through play. If you'd like to know more about trauma, we have a lot of videos on it. If you are interested in doing your own research, have a look at the description below. There is lots and lots and lots of peer-reviewed and very scientifically accurate research. We only give you examples of stuff that we know is absolutely valid, top-notch information. So there's medical studies, journals, books, whatever you need, you'll find below. If you would like to check us out and you enjoyed what you've seen today, please consider supporting us, subscribe, click the like button, and very importantly, ring the little bell. And just before I go, I have an important announcement to make. So over to passing in. If you haven't heard already, you should check out tickets below to the Entitled to Life conference, which is happening in San Francisco this November. It's happening on the 6th and 7th. It's a 2-day conference specifically about DID and OSDD. We are going to be guest speakers there, along with Multiplicity and Me, Jeremy and Alternate Perspective, now known as Team Pinata, the Labyrinth System, Fragmented Psych, and the Entropy System. It's going to be an amazing gala. You have the chance to meet us in person if you'd like to. It's going to be a super inclusive and incredibly safe experience. There's safe rooms and everything you could possibly need, and it's being very, very well put together, and we can't wait to see you there. Don't forget to check out tickets below, or you can watch the video we made about it up here. Thanks for watching, everybody. Bye! Thank you so much for watching, everybody. I really hope that you learned something today and that you will stay on the channel to learn more. Stay safe, everybody. Lots of love. Bye.